The Willys Jeep, the Pack Mule of World War II. Overview. Thesis statement. The Willys Jeep was the compromise to the conflict of the U.S. military being behind on battlefield mobility to the Axis powers. The world so far. The year is 1940, and Adolf Hitler and his Nazis have already invaded or conquered the territories of France, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and other areas. The Nazis were efficient, deadly, and most of all mobile on the battlefield. Hitler had them mobilized and mechanized in war zones, so they were able to traverse the battlefield with relative ease. The United States has not yet taken official action against the Axis powers, but there is thick political tension. U.S. troops lacked a swift, effective mode of transportation on rough terrain in foreign territory, so the idea of entering a war when many a battle would be fought under those conditions had a higher likelihood of casualties and a lower likelihood of victory. The United States military was playing a little catch-up.
In the year 1940, Adolf Hitler and his Nazis have already invaded or conquered France, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and other nearby areas. Military officials haven't given official word that they are entering the war, but tensions are definitely rising. However, there are some doubts. The military only has some spare Ford Model Ts, sidecars, and motorcycles. The rest of the land travel is done by slow, monotonous marching, which is no match for Hitler's mobilized, mechanized army. The U.S. military was outmatched on battlefield mobility.
The invention of Willys. The invention of the Willys quad took place in 1941, when the U.S. Army needed a vehicle that was lightweight, strong, and could go quickly and efficiently through tough terrain in foreign countries. Willys Overland Motors had the perfect candidate, the Willys Quad. It was everything the U.S. Army was looking for. The vehicle had an engine built by Delmar Barney Roos. It gave the car 60 horsepower, 105 foot-pounds of torque, a weight of around 2,000 pounds, and a military price of $748.40 per car.
Have you ever heard of the brand Jeep? Of course you have, but have you ever heard of the brand Willys? Willys Overland Company was started in 1908 when a share of the Standard Wheel Company was bought by John North Willys. The company was renamed in 1912 and had a rough go for many years until they got a deal with the military in 1940. Their first big car was the Willys Quad, which had 60 horsepower, 105 feet-pounds of torque, and weighed about 2,400 pounds.
Benefits of the Willys Jeep. There are many benefits of the Willys Jeep, one of them being that the Jeep had four-wheel drive, which gave it traction that made it superior to the outdated Ford Model Ts. The Willys Jeep also had a low center of gravity, which allowed it to move swiftly over rough terrain. It was lightweight, had 60 horsepower, was cheap, and very easy to mass produce. It took only 2 minutes to make one Willys Jeep once they were in full production. However, Willys Overland Motors did not have quite enough production capacity to fill the 361,339 orders for the military. So, Ford Motors was ordered to help produce Jeeps, and ultimately produced over 200,000 Ford GPWs, which are considered the original Jeeps ubiquitously with the Willys MB.
What makes the Willys MB special? The vehicle had 60 horsepower and 4,000 RPM. Back in 1941, it cost only $748.40 per car for the military to buy. This allowed it to be mass-produced and used for the Allies across the globe. In fact, about 30% of all 361,339 Willys MBs were shipped to other countries to be used in their militaries. This made it a force to be reckoned with. and was a major component of many wars, at least according to former President Eisenhower, who said pieces of equipment that most senior officers came to regard as among the most vital in our success in Africa and Europe were the bulldozer, the Jeep, the 2-ton truck, and the C-47 airplane.
A competition within a war. On July 11th, 1940, the United States military asked 135 car companies to submit cars as possible replacements for the outdated Ford Model Ts. There were 3 main entries for the spot of major military vehicle: the Bantam BRC-60, the Ford Pygmy, and the Willys Overland Quad. The contract originally went to Bantam. However, because of their inability to fill production, the contract was ultimately awarded to Willys. Willys made certain adjustments to the quad and renamed it the Willys MB.
On July 11th, 1940, the military realized their need for a way to transport troops faster on all terrains. They realized the mode of transportation would need to be a vehicle capable of driving on all terrains. That was also lightweight and cheap. The military sent out a request to 135 car companies to submit a car that met their requirements. The 3 major competitors for the contract were the Ford Pygmy, the Bantam BRC-60, and the Willys Quad. Bantam was chosen first to receive the contract, but they couldn't fill production. This led to the Willys Overland Motors Quad becoming the main vehicle of the military, later to be replaced by the Willys MB, nicknamed the Jeep.
Impact on the world. The success of the Willys MB model led to the branching out and eventual rebranding of the Willys brand to the well-known automotive giant Jeep. The company began to make more and more models, each one different in some way. Jeep stuck with the military, making vehicles for them from field ambulances to amphibious Jeeps, or SEEPs, which did not work very well. However, Jeep also began to ride their fame into the world of civilian automotives with the CJ series, which paved the way for every model of Jeep all the way into the most recent model, the 2018 Jeep Wrangler.
The Willys Jeep had an incredible amount of influence on the world. Besides being an influence in World War II, the brand has grown and flourished into the automotive giant today, known just as Jeep. The company has not only provided quality instruments of transportation to the military for decades, but has revolutionized the car industry. Who knows where we would be today if John North Willys hadn't bought a share of the Standard Wheel Company and grown it into the Jeep brand we know now.